All right, welcome back. Drive Time Football. This is a doubleheader morning. I'm going to go ahead and play a second game here. This is AFL 1960, Week 3, final game of Week 3. The Buffalo Bills travel to face the New York Titans. The New York Titans became the New York Jets and have remained so ever since. I can't remember when the Titans became the Jets, though, right offhand. I want to say 61, but I could be wrong. Buffalo comes in here coached by Buster Ramsey. Quarterback is Johnny Green, Wilmer Fowler, and Ray Carlton. Ray Carlton's fantastic. And Albert DeBinion is the flanker. They are the backfield. And then the two ends are Tom Rychek and Dan Chamberlain. Place kickers Billy Adkins. Kick returners Joe Kobacki. And punt returners also Joe Kobacki. Can't return either for touchdowns, so not really relevant information. Okay. On the flip side, we are at the Polo Grounds. The Titans are coached by Sammy Baugh, the Hall of Famer, one of the greatest athletes to ever play professional football. Sammy Baugh, slinging Sammy Baugh. They are quarterbacked by Al Doro, Dewey Bowling, Bill Mathis, and are in the backfield along with Don Maynard as the right halfback / flanker. Art Powell is the left end, and Dave Ross is the right end. Place kicking duties done by Bill Shockley. The kick returning and punt returning done by Leon Burton. They can return a kick for a touchdown. And I'm going to roll this. Odd, Buffalo wins the toss. I don't have my coin. Somewhere my coin's around here, but I don't see it. Even, it's going to be the Titans. The Bills will fail the toss, and the Titans will have the option to choose. They're going to take the ball. So Buffalo will be kicking off. All right, so here we go. The New York Titans do have a kick return. We're going to go ahead and use it right out of the gate to see if we can't secure an early lead in this game. And no, we miss it by 1. They would have returned a fumble for a touchdown with that roll, though. All right, New York's first drive of the game against Buffalo. Again, let's see here. New York is 0-2. Buffalo is 0-2. So this is the battle for one of these teams to get off the snide here. So kind of a surprise. All right, New York's first drive of the game. It's going to be offense 4. That is a punt. So nothing for New York on the first drive. The Bills cannot return a punt for a touchdown, so we're just going to take that ball and we're going to drive. It's going to be offense 11, punt. All right, New York can't return the punt for a touchdown, so here we go. We're going to roll. It's going to be offense 10, punt. Oh my God. And Buffalo gets the ball, takes it on a drive. Offense 8 is picked off, so it's going to be intercepted. It's going to be intercepted by Roger Donahoe picks this off. They cannot return it for a touchdown, so that's that. The fifth drive, let's see, do the Titans get their fifth drive? They do. Here we go. The Titans' fifth and final drive of this quarter. Offense 9 is a fumble lost, son of a gun, and they cannot return a fumble for a touchdown, so that's the fifth drive. Do the Buffalo Bills get it? Yes, they do, automatically. And Buffalo's final drive of the first 10 is a punt. So it's 0-0 first quarter. Both these teams are 0-2, and I can see now why, as neither one of them are producing any kind of offense. All right, second quarter underway. New York Titans on defense, when they're facing the defense of 8, is a red zone. So Buffalo's defense finally gives something up. It's going to be a field goal. So second quarter, New York with a field goal by Shockley. And finally, somebody gets on the board. The New York Titans' first drive of that quarter, they get on the board. Buffalo takes the ball, and they're going to drive. On offense, 7 is a red zone trip. Good for you, Buffalo. Buffalo comes into the red zone, and Johnny Green sets up, drops back, and heaves a touchdown spiral. Touchdown pass to Tom Rychek. How about that? Second quarter, the Buffalo Bills quarterback Green, TD pass to Rychek. Extra point is good. And this guy's miss it quite a bit here. That's our second possession. All right, New York Titans now behind by 4. The crowd in a bit of a daze as they're watching a poor team now losing at home to a poor team. 11 is a red zone trip, though. New York's quarterback, Aldoro, gets him into the red zone, and he's going to throw a touchdown of his own. So the second quarter starting to brighten up here as the New York Titans, Aldoro, with a TD pass to Art Powell. That makes sense. Powell was a deep threat, baby. Their extra points can be missed on one number. They're good. And that's our third drive. New York gets on the board. Buffalo Bills, they take the ball on a 6. They're going to get into the red zone. So now things are opening up a little bit for these two offenses. And this red zone trip is another field goal. So second quarter, New York, Shockley with another field goal. So man, this is getting interesting. That's the fourth. All right, the Titans, do they get their extra drive? They do not. Do Buffalo get their extra drive? They do, but is it the end of half or end of game? It is not. So Buffalo's going to get another possession, back-to-back here, and it's going to be offense 7 into the red zone. Goes Buffalo. Aldoro getting it done. Throws it's a TD run, and a TD run of 1. That's going to be Wilmer Fowler. New York, not New York, Buffalo. Where am I at here? Doro with a TD pass. Shockey with a field goal, and then Buffalo Bills. What did I do wrong there? I did something wrong. So we're going to have a fifth drive. We didn't get a sixth drive. A Buffalo run for Fowler. TD run. Extra point for these guys is good. Wow. Okay, so New York scores 10-13 in that quarter. And Buffalo scores 14, a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. 14-13 at halftime after a 0-0 first quarter for both teams. Buffalo will get the ball to start the third. All right, so Buffalo comes out with a chance to extend their lead. It's going to be offense 8. Is it picked off? So intercepted. Intercepted by Roger Donahue's second interception. Unfortunately, he cannot return it for a touchdown. So New York takes over after a pick. It's going to be defense 4 is a fumble. They fumble it right back. And Buffalo cannot return a fumble for a touchdown. So Buffalo takes over, starts their drive. It's going to be offense 8, which is picked off. Uh-oh. This interception is 6. That's going to be Bell. So Bell picks it off. But, again, no interception return for the Titans. We've got offense 4 for New York is going to be a punt. Dang. And Buffalo now, do they get their extra drive? Yes, they do. They're going offense 7. Red zone. Here we go. Kendora, Johnny Green add to their lead. 10. 10 is going to be TD pass. There it is, folks. The Buffalo Bills, Green, is going to score a TD pass. And that TD pass this time is going to Rychek. So Rychek with his second touchdown pass in this game. And 11 is going to miss the extra point. Fail. That's a killer. That's actually could come back to actually not to matter. The New York Titans, did they get their extra drive? They do. So here we go. New York in the third gets their extra drive. It's going to be defense 4. It's a fumble lost. Wow. And that's going to end the quarter, folks, as Buffalo scores 6 points. Nothing for New York. Fourth quarter about to get underway. Buffalo with the ball. What a game. Again, neither one of these teams have a win. So they're both vying to get their first win of the season. Defense. So Buffalo with the ball. Looking at the defense, 11 is going to be punt. New York takes over. Again, no punt returns here for these teams. Defense 10 is going to be a punt. Uh-oh. I have a feeling New York could win this in the final stroke, but only if Buffalo fails to score again here. Offense for Buffalo, Snake Eyes, punt. New York takes the punt. That drive goes down the field, and they're going to get offense 4, punt. Oh, my God. Buffalo, they get their extra drive, but does time run out on them? It does not. So Buffalo with a chance to really seal the deal. It's going to be offense. 8 picked off. INT. It's going to be intercepted by Eddie Bell. And again, New York with 3 picks today, but can't return any of them for touchdowns. That's a killer. This is it. New York is down 20-13. If New York can score a touchdown and get the PAT, they're going to come back and win this on the final drive. Aldoro marches his team down in the final drive of the game with a chance to win. 7. It's going to be defense 7. Red zone. New York would have punted. Defense gave up a red zone trip. Unbelievable. So if New York had won this at the line of scrimmage, this would have been a punt. But the Buffalo defense caves. Bend but don't break. They're into the red zone. And here we go, folks. Red zone defense. Buffalo, can they hold? The Titans' chance of missing, they do have a chance to miss this extra point, but can they stop the Titans from scoring a touchdown in the final drive? It's 8. 8 is going to be a missed field goal. All the New York Titans lined up to go for a field goal, thinking they would get the ball back, and they're going to miss a field goal. That's unbelievable. Nobody scores in the 4th, so 0-0. This game ends with Buffalo winning 20-13. They are 1-2. New York falls to 0-3. That was painful. Both these teams, 5-8-1. They did score. Buffalo scored almost 300. They gave up just about, or a little over 300 in real life. They're a 5-8-1 team, so they're actually not horrific. This isn't like a team that was 1-13 or 3-10 or something. But they are struggling mightily here, and to score points in this game. New York was 7-7, scoring almost 400, but giving up 400. In this game, they couldn't muster close to that average with 13. However, they did give up close to that average with 20. Unbelievable, 399. So New York will be 0-3. This is Denver at Boston to start week 4. 2-1 Denver, as a matter of fact. At 2-1 Boston. Both teams performing well early in the season here, especially compared to what they did in real life. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams fare over the course of the remainder of the season. This is a 14-game schedule, and Denver is 2-1 with 11 games remaining. Boston 2-1 with 11 remaining. Denver, by way of being the visiting team, gets the honor of selecting the coin toss heads, and it is tails, and Boston will take the ball. So, which means Denver will receive to start the second. All right, here we go. Boston Patriots, coached by Lou Saban. Butch Songen, quarterback. Dick Christie, Alan Miller, and Ron Burton are the backs. Jim Colclaw, Oscar Lofton are the receivers, and also Thomas Stevens comes in at receiver. We have Gino Capoletti doing the place kicking duties. Dick Christie and Billy Wells do kick and punt return duties. They do not have a TD, so it's somewhat pointless, but that is the deal. So Boston gets the kick, brings it out to an average position, and their first drive of the game is going to be the Denver defense relinquishes a red zone trip, and in that red zone trip, they're going to give up a touchdown run for Dick Christie. So right out of the gate, our first quarter drive by Boston. Christie, TD run, extra point is good, and Boston at home in front of hometown fans give them a thrill on their opening drive. Denver returns it out to an average position, and their first drive is offense 7. They're going into the red zone as Frank Tripucka driving down, coached by Phil Cock, Gene Mingo, Dave Roll, Al Carmichael, Pat Epperson, and Jim Greer are the receivers with Lionel Taylor. Mingo does the kicking duties, Carmichael does all the returning duties, and their first drive ends in a touchdown run as well. This one is Al Carmichael. First quarter, Denver. We got us ball game, folks. Carmichael. With a TD run of his own. And do they make this extra point? Yes, but it bounces off the upright, but tumbles across between the pipes, and will count as the second possession of the game ends in a touchdown as well. Denver on the road. Good job. Boston takes the next possession of the first quarter. It's going to be the defense of the Broncos. It's going to be a punt. Broncos with a punt return chance. We're going to take it right now, and they do not get it. So Denver with an average punt return or fair catch. The defense of the Boston Patriots gives up a punt. All right. Does Boston get their extra drive? They automatically do, yes. And they're going to go defense 7 is red zone trip. And Denver gives up a field goal, folks. Boston, first quarter. Boston's going to end this with 10 minimum here. It looks like Boston's field goal kicker is Cappelletti with a field goal. And Denver, do they get their final? Yes, they do. Automatically get their extra drive. And it's going to be offense 7. They're going into the red zone. So Frank Tribuca drives them down. And 4 is going to be a missed field goal by Mingo. You stud. Unfortunate. It's going to be Denver 7 thanks to a Carmichael touchdown, and Boston up by 3 with 10 thanks to Christie's run and Cappelletti's field goal. Second quarter underway as Denver missed that kick. Boston takes the ball. Offense 5 is going to be a red zone trip for Butch Songin. Butch Songin 7 is going to be a TD pass. Songin for Boston. TD pass to Coleclaw. And the extra point here is missed. Fail. That helps Denver in the long run. That's going to help Denver. What does Denver do? They take the kickoff. They drive down to the red zone with Frank Tribuca under center. Snap 8. It's going to be a TD pass. Second quarter Denver. So again, we get bang bang scores. Tribuca TD pass to Jim Greer. And their extra point now becomes all that more important as it would give them, well, actually, it wouldn't give them the lead. It would, 14 to, no, they would still be down by 2. But they could win with a field goal. 10 is going to be good, but barely. That's the second time the ball has just inside the upright. All right, Denver. Good job, Denver. And that's back-to-back drives there in the second. All right, Boston takes the ball after the kickoff. The Denver defense is going to relinquish a red zone trip. And that red zone trip is going to be a touchdown run for Alan Miller. Boston drives down the field. Miller punches it in. TD run. Extra point. They really need... Actually, they can go for 2 back there. But they don't want to chase phantom points while they have the lead, and it's good. But you do have a 2-point conversion for the AFL teams back in the day. I got to remember that. All right, Denver gets the kickoff. Their drive is going to be offense 10, which is a punt. Boston does get their drive. However, does the half end on Boston? It does not. So Boston will get its possession. It's going to be defense 6 is red zone. So Denver relinquishes another red zone to Boston. And it's going to be another field goal for Boston. This field goal is Cappelletti. Good job, Cappelletti. In Denver, do they get their final drive? Yes, but does the half end on it? And no, time does not expire as they're on this drive. It's going to be offense 6 red zone. So Butch Songin moving down the field in the final drive of the half, and he's going to get a TD pass. So Tribuca drops back, fires a touchdown to Epperson. Wow, Denver. Tribuca. TD pass to Epperson. And the extra point here is good. PAT. Wow, what a quarter, folks. That is actually going to wrap up that quarter. Songin of Boston scores a touchdown. 13 for 16 points for Boston in that quarter. And Denver gets Tribuca and Tribuca 14 for Denver in that quarter. So it's 21 to 26. Boston winning by 5 at the half. They've missed a field goal. That's why it's 20. They missed an extra point. That's why it's not 27. And Boston. Now this is the kind of high-scoring contest fans expected from the AFL teams, to have it 21-26 at halftime. That is epic. for these two teams. Both these teams gave up over 340 yards of points that year, and they both scored pretty low. Boston was scored less than Denver, but right now, Denver gave up almost 400 points. Okay, so the third quarter is going to start, and it's going to be Denver getting the ball to start. And again, no kick return for the Broncos, so their opening drive of the third is going to be a punt. Boston takes the ball following the punt, no punt return. They're going to go defense, 6. So Denver again relinquishes a defensive red zone trip, and it's going to be another touchdown pass. So Boston gets another TD pass by Songen. 2. It's going to be Thomas Stevens. And the fans here at home are on their feet in full throat as they are absolutely taking it to the Broncos here. It's 30. That makes it 33-21 in the third. All right, Denver's second drive of the third is going to be defense 8. That's going to be a punt. Boston is going to go defense 6. That's going to be red zone. So again, Denver relinquishes another. So there's this defense giving up 393 is indeed showing itself as another touchdown pass for Songen. TD pass, my God, that's his third or fourth touchdown pass? And this one is to Burton out of the backfield. And the extra point, which they have missed one, they didn't miss this one. So now it's out of hand, folks. It's now 40-21. Let's see here. It was Denver, Boston, Denver, Boston. So Denver, Boston, Denver, Boston. So here we go. Does Denver get its extra drive? Yes, they do. It's going to be offense 7. That's a red zone trip for Tripucka. And 11 is going to be a field goal. So at least Gene Mingo, third quarter, Denver. Mingo with a field goal. And last but not least, Boston gets their drive of the third. Offense 11 is a punt. And that'll wrap up the third, folks. Holy cow. But Boston scores 14 more. Jeez. Yeah, 40. And Denver gets 3. So it is 40-24 going into the fourth quarter as the Boston fans here at home on their feet. And they are thrilled. Okay, so Denver gets the ball. Here we go to start the fourth. Denver offense goes 11. It's going to be picked off. So Denver's intercepted. Intercepted by O'Hanley. Ross O'Hanley picks this off. They've got a really good chance to return this for a touchdown. Oh, but they don't get it. Boston's drive defense 8 is going to be picked off himself. So there's an interception for Songen. Intercepted by King. King picks this off, and King, they got a very good chance to return this for a touchdown. They do. Touchdown Broncos. That does not count as a possession, by the way. That actually is a possession for Boston. So Denver, holy cow, Denver. It's going to be a, what was his name? King. INTTD return. Extra point is good. Holy cow, Denver gets that. That's a way to come back. That counts as Boston's possession when he throws the interception for a touchdown. So that does not count as Denver's possession. Denver's next possession is defense 7 punt. That counts as a possession. Boston, with only their second possession, defense 6 is going to be red zone trip. Damn, Denver gives up a field goal. That's going to pretty much wrap it up as Boston here is going to get Capoletti. Field goal. Damn. All right, Denver, here we go. This will be their... they automatically get their extra drive. This is technically their 1, 2, 3. Yep, this is their extra drive. So it does time run out on Denver. 6. It does not. They're going to get this drive. And Denver score, make this interesting. Defense, 9. Fumble. They cough it up, folks. Boston technically has it won, but we'll go ahead and roll their final drive, and they do get it. Time run out. Time does not run out, so Boston could set a record here for the first season in points scored in a game. Defense 9 is punt, and that's it. It's going to end on a turnover. Denver gets 7, not enough, and 3 more by Boston to make sure there was no comeback bid. That is 28-31 for Denver, 43 for Boston. Denver falls to 2-2. Boston goes to 3-1, folks. Unbelievable scoring, 43 points. Outstanding. Boston wins at home again. So Boston at home this year has won 2, and on the road they have won 1, lost 1 on the road. So Boston 3-1 right now, looking pretty. Problem is they're in a division with Houston, and Houston currently is undefeated, and Houston has beaten Boston once already. So Houston continues. They'll have the they currently have the tiebreak on Boston. Let's put it that way. And another great game for Drive Time Football, AFL 1960, between the Broncos and the Boston Patriots. Thank you for watching. Good day.